Welcome to Elevated Coaching. This is our very first podcast with a guest.
Hey guys, I'm Brett.
This is Brett. That's
Gregory. I'm Gregory.
It's whatever. I'm Anna. We are super excited to talk to Brett today because he has been in the industry for a long time. He actually just started talking about it, and I was like, save it for the podcast. So we have gone from why choose the fitness industry, and then we've slowly worked our way through certifications, application, interview, and then auditions. And when I talked to Gregory, I was like, hey, we need to do some interviews with people who have, some sort of background and all of these things. And you're the first name he came up with. Okay. I have a few that I had already known. But I wanted to talk to somebody that I didn't necessarily know. I got the opportunity to take Brett's cycle class on Saturday, and it was the first time that I've been a participant in a while. I was like, damn, I stop a lot when I'm coaching because my legs are real tired right now.
We're also coaching too, so it's a little bit different. Like you're having to yell and direct people, so I get it.
Yeah. But I'm excited to get to know you. I'm excited to hear what you have to say about all of these things. Obviously, you've known Kragers in a couple different capacities, I think, as a manager and then up here. So let's start from the beginning. When did you get into this industry?
Yeah, so I think, realistically, I had originally out of high school. Well, I guess first and foremost, like I've been a soccer player almost all my life.
Same. What position?
I started off as like a forward, and then realized that I really didn't want to run that much, so I ended up becoming defense, and that's where,
Center back.
I got a center back. I got some sweeper. I got some left fullback because I was okay with my left. But I think it was just one of those things. Like, and I don't know if you had the same experience, but you play so much that it almost stops. You stop seeing the fun in it. You stop seeing the joy in it. So I had a couple D2, a couple D3 offers coming out of high school. Just realized that I did not want to go further with it. I still play rec every now and then. I still kind of do everything that I can do. No, my knees can't do it anymore.
Okay,
my hamstrings, like it's once in a blue moon. Like these legs don't move the way they used to.
I went to my ortho and he goes, listen, you might be 43, but your knees are 900.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. He goes, I want you to run it all. I said, deal. Sign on the dotted line.
And that's why you don't run.
That's why we don't run. So I ended up going to school, got a political science degree. As I kind of got out of college, I realized that I did not want to do anything with political science. So I had started in the gym like late middle school, early high school, learning, how the body moves, learning how to use weights. And that's where I think like I just kind of came back to after college, like what is it that I really want to do? I rather want to work with sports. I really want to work with athletics. So I started working at a kind of like a Globo gym, kind of like a
Globo gym?
Yeah, like
what I refer to as a big box gym.
Yeah, like a big box gym, like a one life fitness. We call it American Family Fitness.
Oh, Global Gym.
I was real big in swimming, so I started off with lifeguarding, became the aquatic director for American Family Fitness as I got out of school. I started teaching water aerobic classes, which was interesting.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Did you really?
Told you. You got an
So we have been telling every single person with ears on this
anyway.
podcast, if you get an aqua cert, you won't even have to interview. They're like, you teach
No,
aqua?
you don't.
No.
Come on in.
Let's go right now. You can teach tomorrow.
Wait, okay, did you get a group fit a full group fit cert before you got any sub-certs?
So I got a full AFA fitness certification and an aquatic certification. I think it was also maybe through AFA at that point. So that's where I kind of had a little bit of that, but eventually I decided that I wanted to start doing some land stuff. So my coordinator and I kind of talked. I got into body combat. At the time, like Les Mills was blowing up everywhere. So we were highly invested in Les Mills.
Sure.
I started with body combat, eventually got into cycling, RPM, which was their program. Got into what was called CX Works, which was kind of like their 30-minute core training.
Baby.
Yep.
That was my second Les Mills cert.
Got into Body Flow, got into Body Pump.
That was my first one. Body Flow was my very first.
I love Body Flow. So I ended up getting...
Not Body Balance. balance. So
It's now
we have
body
to-
balance. It has changed a little bit. I still actually look at some of that stuff, but
I love it. 66 is my favorite.
we actually they piloted our gym with the Les Mills Grit program as it was rolling out, and
Yeah.
that was okay. We didn't bring that on.
We did. We
Yeah.
piloted it. I blew the lateral condyle off my femur while teaching that. 10 out of 10 do not recommend.
Ouch.
Yeah,
It was
Nikki,
intense.
Ouch.
Nikki, who is the main master trainer for that,
Yeah.
I think she trained us on Grit 2.
Yeah, I think we were Grit 3 or Grit 4.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
the third strength training one. I think the second, the first cardio one.
yeah.
We ended up not going with that, and actually after a short time of that, we actually got rid of Les Mills and went with Mosa. And we got actually like really
I don't know
close with Mosa.
What's Mosa?
So Les Mills
This
and
is
Mo-
new.
You never heard of Mosa?
No.
The
Les-
YMCA does Mosa.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Les Mills and Mosa were essentially the same company up to a certain point, and then
Okay.
Mosa, I guess, kind of realized that they can kind of do it a little bit differently in an American market where Les Mills is based out of New Zealand. So Mosa kind of branched off. They kind of created a very similar but somewhat different kind of format for each of like the core ones that Les Mills all had, and those were all great. The music was a little bit different, but the movements were a little bit better. The equipment was a little bit different, a little bit better, a little bit more accommodating. So at that point, I had been kind of with American Family Fitness in different roles for about 5 to 8 years.
Where
Decided
did you start? So you started with
at
them
American Family Fitness
with Aqua.
at Aqua.
Then you got all of those certs.
Got all those certs. Ended up becoming the group fitness coordinator. Was the group fitness coordinator for I believe 5 years.
Okay.
Ended up Burn Boot Camp was coming around. I kind of at that point was now personal training certified. Decided that I wanted to start doing a little bit more freestyle.
Yeah.
Right, having control of my programming, having control of what I wanted my participants to do. So we launched the first Burn Boot Camp.
Okay.
Then was with Burn Boot Camp for about 2.5 years.
Now, question.
Yeah.
Because I've never been to a burn
Yeah.
camp.
Yeah.
Is that pre-choreographed for you, or do you write your own, or has it changed over the years? Like,
So
is it
it's
like
changed.
Orange Theory, where they're like, "Here's your workout, you just tell the people how to do it"?
So it's changed a little bit to kind of like that industry standard. Early on, when Burn was kind of first launching, we had like kind of like two different options. We had the option for like a portal workout, where essentially they would be kind of writing workouts for us.
Okay.
We would have kind of like a breakdown we worked out 6 days a week, not 7, and we would have a specific theme day, like an athletic conditioning day, a Metcon day, upper body day, a lower body day, a Tabata day.
I love Tabata with my whole heart.
Yeah, it's all good. But that's where essentially like if we had that concept, we could kind of pick and choose how we wanted to run the different stations.
Mhm.
So for me, it became less of okay, I'm looking at this from a short-term standpoint, thinking, all right, hey, I'm gonna have to put them through 2 counts down, 2 counts up, 3 counts down, 1 count up for squats. I'm gonna pump out some singles with their, upper body for their chest rack. Now I'm choreographing or I'm programming essentially a full week out in advance, almost 2 weeks out in advance, because now I'm looking at the long-term health
Sure.
of my participants.
Sure.
So I think in that aspect, that's where Burn was a greater place for me as a fitness professional, because I felt like I had a little bit more control of programming, and I could also help deliver better results over time.
Yeah.
Right. So I think in that aspect, Burn has changed because now Burn has wanted to, because Burn is so big now. There's almost, I believe, 300 locations at this point.
It's awesome.
They want to make sure that everyone's kind of adhering to the same workout routines. So, and it makes perfect sense that you're getting almost the same or similar experience
Right.
from different gym
Yeah.
to different
So
gym.
if you go vacation or visit somewhere
Yeah.
and they have a burn, then it's not like, what the hell?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So I think in that aspect, like Burn has become a little bit more standardized in terms of like expecting everything, but also taking away and limiting the creativity of everybody. So essentially I was with Burn for about 2.5 years in Richmond, then made my way over to Virginia Beach, and that's where we came to the Upton location. I was there for about 7 months. We were opening a new gym in Hilltop. I took that location. We opened March 8th, 2020. We
Ooh.
shut down we were open for 9 days. We
Yeah.
shut down for about 4 months after that,
Yeah.
doing
Jeez.
online workouts. And we had originally had something like 1,200 to 1,400 people
Yeah,
signed
I
up.
was gonna say, you must have had a big pre-sale.
Yeah, we had a
because that
huge
was, like,
pre-sale.
I mean, the market was booming. Everybody the economy was great. People were refocusing.
And then we ended up closing less than 200. That business model was never going to work out for us long term. So I was with Burn for probably another 2 years, and then from there I've been kind of going back to school. So I'm right now studying cybersecurity, but I teach a little psycho class here on the side, teach a little muscle conditioning classes we can.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've seen just about everything. I was the Crunch Fitness, essentially group fitness coordinator for about, I want to say we opened September.
No.
And then
August.
Was it August?
It's August. Yeah, August.
We started, I think, in August, 2023.
23.
And then I think I was only there for about 6 months until I went a little bit more full-time with Apple. As I'm currently working at Apple as a tech specialist. So that's where I kind of stepped down at that point to kind of refocus a little bit more on the technological side of my career.
And he calls it coordinator. Group X.
Group fit coordinator is what he said.
We've hired
Group
that,
fit.
yeah.
It's the same thing. It's all.
He says group X, I say group fit.
Yeah, I mean, but I think that's.
It is all the same.
Can I say those? Like, do you feel like there's a movement away from that Group X idea into a group fitness idea?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 I also feel like most corporate structures are getting away from the word manager, so they don't have to pay you as much, and going towards the word lead.
Yeah.
It's a group fitness lead.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, or coordinator instead of group fitness manager.
Or director.
Yeah.
Well, there's a certain lack of benefits that I think, most of the coordinator, managerial, lead positions have. So I think when you start taking it from manager to something like a coordinator, something like a lead, it kind of justifies not being able to either have
Not
someone
making any
full time
money.
or not give them
making money,
benefits.
not full time, no
Correct.
benefits for you.
Right.
Which is crazy bonkers.
But I also think too, like, there's another, like, working like the internal backgrounds of some of these gyms, what we've actually kind of seen a look at is like, okay, well, the coordinator position, like, is it really necessary? And I think certain gyms are taking a look at it and finding that, hey, it's really not necessary. You can elevate, or if you want to think about it, maybe downgrade someone to this lead instructor position and still have them do menial work on the side to let the place run itself.
Yeah.
I do think there is that idea that floats out there, and I don't love that idea, but
I
every
don't love
market
the
is
idea
different.
either, and I was waiting. I was going to ask, like, how do you feel about that?
Ooh, yes.
Because there is a big discrepancy between what it means to be a personal training manager and a group fitness manager, and certainly a GM 90% of the time has no frickin' clue what the difference is.
Oh, I agree.
Other than one-on-one versus you're teaching to a group. Like the thought of taking a personal trainer who has never done a small group class and saying, hey, you are qualified to teach a group fit class. Like, those don't translate well.
No, they don't.
I think it's very easy for a group fitness instructor to translate to a personal trainer. Easier.
I don't disagree with you. I think the aspect sometimes with the difference between like a personal training manager versus something like a group fitness manager, personal training managers are driven by money, right?
Yeah.
And I hate saying that, but we're driven by business, we're driven by results.
Yep.
Most, big box gyms, are essentially trying to, not only sign people up, but they're also trying to sign up clients for personal training.
Yeah.
Group fitness, I think, is sometimes archaic in this idea that, it is a service that we are providing to our members, to our constituents. But essentially there's maybe a less value attached to it than personal training. I think sometimes the other aspect of it is, and I think it has changed now a little bit, but I still think we have this archaic idea of like $1 per head, right?
Yep.
Like if I'm paying you $20 a class, which I think is absurd these days,
Yeah.
I need you to have at least 20 participants in that class,
Yeah.
$1 per head. That's no longer true.
Yeah.
At this point, you're essentially needing to pay someone closer to 25 to 30 a class, 25 to 30, if not more an hour, depending on what they're doing. But you're also thinking that, hey, I'm lucky to have maybe 12 to 15 people in this class today.
Yeah.
Right? Obviously, if you can pump it up.
Right.
That's why I think Zumba is such a popular thing for so many gyms. You're paying someone $30, $35, and all of a sudden they have 50 to 60 people in there. They're packing the room up.
Yeah.
But I think it comes down to context too. What kind of gym are you running? What kind of profit model are you looking at? What kind of business model are you looking at? That's where I think sometimes it's hard to differentiate between like what is a group manager versus what a PT manager is. But I do agree with you that I think a group fitness manager can see things in people that will translate well to personal training. But someone who is a personal training manager may not see things that will translate to a greater group fitness experience.
Yeah, I totally agree. I had a big debate with one of my GMs once. She's like, well, it's not like we make money off of group fitness. And I said, incorrect. I said, incorrect. We are acquisition. We are 50%, if not more, of the acquisition that comes into this gym.
Yeah.
They would not sign up if you did not have group fitness.
Yeah.
Everyone has a personal trainer. People are not lining up outside of a door to get in with a personal trainer. People are lining up outside of a door to get in with a good group fitness instructor.
Yeah. Consistent lead base.
Yeah, I said, who's your main people, right? Who are your main people who get memberships to gyms? Women.
Yeah.
25 to 50-year-old women,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes higher in age, sometimes lower in age, but there's your demographic.
Yeah.
Most of the time, they're moms, and like it or not, group fit is the gateway drug to fitness.
It is.
And if they can be social, because women are social, they're gonna join. And if it's free, even better. You start telling them they have to pay for a small group, then they have to figure out other friends who wanna pay for the small group, then they have to figure out the time, then they have, no. If they can show up at 9 a.m. and see all their friends and get a good workout, they're happy, and they'll keep their membership.
Can I say something about real quick what an
Yeah.
instructor, like just some different ideas? A group fitness instructor, I feel like, is happy to pack that room up.
Oh, yeah.
A group fitness instructor is happy to see people every single week.
Mm-hmm.
High fives, smiles, great energy. The personal trainer in me, when I was teaching body pump, I would see the same people week after week.
Mm-hmm.
And the personal trainer in me was a little disappointed that their weight would never go higher.
Yes.
Right? Like
Yes.
you might put on like 2.5
Yes.
pounds, 5 pounds, but
That's why I call it the gateway drug, because then you want to start kicking them out and be like, go
Yes.
lift on the
you've
floor.
been doing body pump
Yeah.
for 2
Yeah.
years and you're
Yes.
only doing a 10 pound and a 5 pound of both sides
Yes.
for squats. Like, come on, we got to go up to at least 2 pounds. And I think that's where, like, as a personal trainer, thinking about it, like, I'm so driven by results that in a group fitness class, if I'm not challenging people to be better than how they were than when they came in,
Yep.
then I almost feel like I'm unsuccessful,
Yeah.
right? But a group fitness instructor with a group fitness background is happy to see those people, happy to build
Yeah.
that community,
Yeah.
and more importantly, happy to grow that community.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes the other side of what fitness can look like, the business side of it, is looking at the numbers and wondering how we justify doing what we do. Group fitness keeps people in the door. Group fitness keeps people coming
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
It is your retention center.
Acquisition and retention.
It's not a profit center, but it's necessary. And sometimes, we struggle with the finances, the ideas of the data behind why that retention is so necessary.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you sort of touched on the it factor. You've held enough positions, and
Yeah.
I'm making a big assumption here. I am assuming that you have looked at people's applications, that you have decided who you're going to interview,
Yeah.
and you've done auditions.
Yeah.
So how do you prefer, two-part question, A, how do you prefer to go from application all the way to audition, part one?
Yeah.
Part two, what are the biggest red flags you look for within that process that you're like, that person's not getting hired?
Yeah, I think context is really important because I think there are things that are teachable versus things that are not teachable, essentially. But also the business model is a little different when it comes to something like a big box gym where you're doing something like a body pump or a group power class versus something like a burn boot camp or an Orange Theory where you're having essentially a trainer, so to speak. Mm-hmm. One of the biggest things that I think from an intangible standpoint, like, do you have energy? Right? Can I feel your energy? Can I feel that you are excited to be here, that you have a passion, that you essentially want to give me the very best workout that you've ever had? Yeah. That's not something that's teachable. That's something that you can work on. That I think that's something that just gives you it.
Yeah.
The next thing I think that is sometimes not tangible, or is teachable, but something that I think sometimes people are kind of born with: confidence, the ability to orate, the ability to, you know, get in front of a group of people and be loud enough and be directive enough to you get them where you're going,
Yeah.
right? I think that is sometimes something that you can work on with people. I think that sometimes maybe you can even teach them, but I think that is something that you are born with. And I think if you are a leader, then it is something that you can naturally gravitate towards this. When I'm looking at someone's application, I hate to say it, one of the biggest things that I'm looking for: are they certified?
Yeah.
Do they have experience? I'm in an industry right now, and early on, I guess in my career when I was doing it, like, you know, there were some real basic standpoints, real basic checkpoints, like, are you certified?
Yeah.
Like, we have to know whether or not you're certified, so we either put you on the schedule. Like,
Yeah.
it's an insurance thing, it's a liability thing, right?
Okay, side question.
Yeah.
Best certification in your opinion? Like, if you see this.
For what?
For group.
For group fitness? Oof. I think honestly, if you're asking me what the best group fitness certification is, the context is a little bit more: do you want to be like, I think a body pump is a great certification for people that can hear music and just want to put on a great experience, but that's not going to help you if you're not creative. If you want a very packed type of certification, I would say something like a personal training certification, like a NASM certification, is going to give you all the background that you are going to need. It may not give you
It's NASM.
NASM.
We can't say NASM.
You can, they just don't like it.
They don't like it, I know.
NASM.
He's just pissed because I corrected him.
I think a personal training certification will give you all the necessary experience that you will have, but it won't teach you to be in front of people.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think there's some great context when it comes to what are you looking for. A cycling certification, like I said, is great, but I mean, if you're not out there practicing and getting in front of people, if you're doing it online, then how great is it?
Yeah.
But I'm a NASM guy through and through.
Yeah.
I've had several different certifications through them. I think they're, bar none, probably one of the best certifications that I've ever done. I actually did not pass my first time. I actually had to take it several different times just
Yeah.
to do it.
The average is 3.
Yeah, it's a good certification.
They're very thorough. Very thorough.
But it so right now, like in cybersecurity and IT, like, you don't need to have a certification. You don't need to have a college degree.
Yeah.
If you can do the skills, you're good. That's not the same in group fitness.
No.
So I would want, first and foremost, to know, like, do you know what you're doing?
Yeah.
Right? Second thing is, you know, obviously I would want to take a look maybe at your experience and see, like, okay, are you a newer instructor that I'm going to have to develop, or are you someone that I'm maybe going to be able to put on my schedule and just kind of rock and roll with?
Yeah.
Looking at my needs, are you someone that can teach a multitude of different genres? Are you someone that is very specialized, right? So I think it sometimes can come down to that context of what the needs are versus what your experience will look like. In an audition, you know, when you first meet someone, when you have an audition or an interview with someone, within the first 10 minutes, you can kind of tell whether or not they have it.
Yeah.
Right? How they talk to you, how they
I was
present
telling Gregory,
themselves.
I was like, takes me 30 seconds. I
Yeah.
know in 30 seconds. When I took your cycle class,
Yeah.
I was like, I know I'm gonna like this ride.
Yeah.
30
I
seconds.
appreciate that. I think sometimes, you know, that can also lead you to a road where, you know, like, someone sounds good, but they maybe don't have the background or maybe don't have the technical precision to pull off what they're actually trying. I, for instance, and I'm not going to name names, I had someone who had taken class for a long, long time, and she was well-spoken, had decent energy, body flow, went through training, past training. Class was not good.
Yeah.
And she couldn't hear music,
Oh yeah.
right? And that's sometimes
Yeah.
hard. And that's the thing, like, if you don't know and understand, like, music, sometimes it's really, really hard to make a flowing and functional thing. So that's where, like, for me, like, it checked all the boxes, but when it came to sometimes, like, the programming or, like, just understanding of it, like, there's things there that are missing. Is that teachable? It is. It's hard to teach sometimes. I actually failed my first body combat training. I actually had to go twice because I could not hear music.
Interesting.
I could not hear downbeats, and then I became very, very good at that failure.
Yeah. Well, it's math.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the statistic is if you can't keep a beat by the age of 12, you're never going to be able to. And
Yeah.
I'm like, well, not necessarily,
Not
because
necessarily.
if you have a hard 4 count, you can learn math.
Yeah. 100%.
Right.
It took me a while.
But
like,
it's effort.
and it takes a lot of practice.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying like I was perfect, but I started not great. As I picked up more and more certifications, I actually got to a point where I was interviewing to become a Les Mills presenter,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that's where I think sometimes, like I said, from a context, like you can learn, like things are teachable,
Yeah.
but they can be hard to learn and understand, like if you're just not willing to put the work in. I think when it comes back to, like I said, we can sometimes understand whether someone has, energy, or has direction or leadership within about 30 seconds to 10 minutes of having a conversation with them.
Yeah.
One of the other things from an audition standpoint that I'm also evaluating too is like the structure of the workout, the flow of the workout. If it doesn't make sense to me, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, from a training standpoint, if it's just like choreography, like I'm already disinterested.
Yeah.
If there's not some practical purpose as to what we're doing and why we're doing it through the full flow of a workout, I sometimes as a participant struggle.
Yeah.
But I also understand that I am not a typical participant.
Right.
But I am someone who is, if I'm thinking, in terms of safety and results and efficiency for our members, I'm taking a look at the structure of it and I'm wondering like, hey, why did you do this?
Yeah.
What if we tried this instead of this? Does that make more sense? So that's kind of the other part of the audition. Like, does your workout make sense?
Will you coach in an audition? Like the example you just gave. Will you say to somebody like, hey, I like what you did. Let's try doing this instead of this.
Afterwards, yeah.
And if they do it, do they become more hireable in your brain?
I agree. Yeah. I think, like I said, are you someone that's willing to learn?
Yeah.
Because I think early on, like the folks that are just now becoming Group X, Group Fitness certified, you are not going to be good. People are going to cringe a little bit during your workouts, and that's okay. Because it's all learning, right? The more that you can grow and the more you can deliver a rapport with people, the greater the experience actually becomes in the long term.
Yeah.
But I do absolutely agree with you on that aspect, that I think that can happen. And I think that it sometimes can happen more often than we think.
Yeah. Would you rather take somebody with 20 years of experience and bad habits, or somebody who's brand spanking new?
Ooh.
So that's a great question, because I think from a standpoint of bad habits, I'm still going to get a more effective workout, because I think the programming probably will be more, in my view, probably seasoned, mature, tightened, intelligent, so to speak, as someone who's maybe brand spanking new. But that would be, like I said, from a bad habit standpoint, like I can forgive certain things, like I can just brush past certain things. But I think if we're looking for a safer, more effective workout, like I don't think you can necessarily beat experience in that aspect.
Okay.
But I do think energy, for the most part, will overcome a lot of that.
Yeah.
Someone who is brand new, has tons of energy, will put on a more popular workout than someone who is 20 years set in their ways.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. There's a give and take for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. You think there's a certification that's overrated or unnecessary?
Yes.
His head went.
Yeah, I think when it comes down to a lot of what NASM is doing, what some of these other specialties in ISSA are doing, in terms of, and even precision nutrition, when it comes to like sleep, when it comes to bodybuilding, when it comes to youth fitness, older populations, I think all that is unnecessary, unless that is the specific thing you're trying to specialize in. Virtual coaching.
We were making fun of that a little bit.
Yeah.
We're like, why is this a certification?
Virtual coaching.
Well, I think, and I don't know how prevalent it is, but, immediately after the pandemic hit, I think you saw a lot of different companies, a lot of different services go online, and people are still trying to hold on to that model. Like, hey, maybe there does deserve to be this service, or there is a place for this to happen.
Yeah.
I just don't think necessarily that it is the easiest thing or the most successful business model to run, because I think people want to get back and they want to go back to gyms, but I understand that some people also are not ready to do that and may never be ready to do that. That's where something like a like a personal training service that goes to you is becoming more and more popular.
Yeah. Peloton, different apps, online personal training apps.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the one company. They've got like a red logo, but they actually go to your house and will work out with you, and they're great. I mean,
I forget what it is too. I know you're talking about. It's like a black, I'm seeing like a black man with red writing in my brain.
Yeah. All that stuff's great. I mean, I think if you are someone that is super deconditioned or someone that has very specialized type of conditions, that can be really, really be efficient and better for you than going to a big box gym.
Yeah. What do you think that an applicant could do to ensure a job offer?
Be present. I think, again, it's one of those things that if you're being present in classes, being present around management, around instructors, you're leaving an impression upon someone that you're interested, right? And again, if you're interested, you have energy, if you have a passion towards something, that's going to resonate with people. And then you'll start to, maybe as a manager, I'm starting to have a conversation in my head thinking, could this person be a good fit?
Yeah.
Could they do this job, right? I think if you're being present and you're taking body pump classes and you're learning how to do all that stuff, learning to flow within the measure of the music. If you're going to an Orange Theory, going to a Burn boot camp, and you're seeing, not just what's being written on a board, but you're actually seeing the methodology behind it and starting to say, hey, like, can I try to go, if I've got a minute here and it's got 25 reps on there, can I try for 30?
Yeah.
And talking to your instructor about that, I think makes a huge part of that. I think that, again, puts you in a realm of saying, like, hey, like, there's potential for this person because they're expressing interest, but they're learning.
Yeah.
They're learning in a different way that you can't get behind a computer and learn, right? You're actually physically doing it, you're experiencing it. So I think in a way, if you are someone that is interested in something, you have passion for that position, be present.
All right, so within that, I'm also hearing you say, show up, take all the classes, take different instructors' classes, introduce yourself, talk to the hiring manager, talk to the different instructors, ask them questions about their culture, their classes. Like, what I'm hearing you say is you appreciate people who are immersing themselves not only in the class but in the culture and trying to learn as they grow.
Yeah, I think one of the great things about Crunch Fitness is, we have a team of different instructors that all have different backgrounds, that all have different strengths, different skill sets. And I think if you were someone that only takes classes from Gregory or classes that only takes from me, you're missing out on the ability to learn from other people. We do have favorites. We absolutely do have favorites, and to a certain extent, and I just want to point this out. There are theoretical spots in the room that people have, quote unquote.
It's their spot.
Yes, it's their spot.
It's my spot. I actually said to a member once, "Did you pee on it?
Yeah.
Did you mark your spot? Is this your bike? Did you lift your leg did you lick the handlebars?
Oh,
it's my bike."
I don't mean to shit on it, but I'm going to. Like in Zumba, this is a real thing, and it's almost kind of childish and immature, but like people get territorial about it. And I get it. I do get it. I 100% get it.
Yeah. If they have to be in the back, they will dance their way up to the front and then edge out the person that is in their spot. 100%. I've seen fights in Zumba.
Yeah.
It's a cult.
But like I said, I think once you start going out and trying different people's classes, there's a certain thing that you can take away from that, a certain thing that you can learn from that. The best instructors are not copycats of better instructors.
Right.
They find some way to take things that they've learned, take things that they've liked, and make it their own.
Yeah. Boom. See, this is what Gregory does. He doesn't talk a lot, but he makes very important.
Yeah, because
sound effects.
this is how I learned. I told you when I first started at the Y teaching Boxmaster, we went to several different locations, took several different Boxmaster classes, and I took little bits and pieces of each one.
Do you know that the stats now are that 30% of your participants will end up becoming instructors?
I believe that.
30%.
I believe that. Because I think, you know, and again, I think it harkens back to like what do we actually think is the business model? What do we actually think is the way that people see results here? Is it showing up every single week and having great energy and creating community, or is it the fact that someone has upped their weight 5 pounds from 3 weeks ago? Is it the person that is down 2 pounds from, you know, last week because they hit the gym 5 days out of 6 days? There's so many different ways that you can measure success now, and that's where I think people are starting to gravitate towards, you know, their passions. And if you have instilled an experience upon someone that has become a passion, as a fitness professional, you've done an amazing job.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
But I think you're also, you know, you're awakening passions in other people to make the industry and make the community stronger. And I think that's really, really important. And 30%, I love to hear that.
Yeah.
Now I am saying this also too. Out of the 30%, not every single one of the 30% necessarily is going to be in the right position or in doing the right class.
Yeah.
But that's where trial and error, experimenting with different classes, like you're going to find your voice. Sometimes it's going to take a little bit. And sometimes you're going to find that your voice is going to change over the years. Like, I'm just saying, like early on, like I was body combat, I was weightlifting, I was go.
Yeah.
When I started doing body flow, it changed my fitness life.
Yeah.
I loved doing yoga, stretching, and just taking some time for yourself.
Yeah.
And I think maybe it was the maturity, maybe it was just me just getting older. But I think, you know, like long term, what I started idea wise early in my career, I gotta lift more weight. Now it's become, I want to try to get to the gym 5 days this week.
Yeah. I just want to be functional.
I just want to
When
make.
I'm 70, I want to get up off the floor.
I was about to say, it probably comes down to experience because, like I tell most of my clients these days, I'm really focused on flexibility and mobility work now. It's like weightlifting, HIIT classes, everything, that's fine and dandy, but as you get older, you need to learn how to move and move efficiently.
Yeah.
And it's like, cause trust me, when you get around that age, you're gonna be like, oh God, I should have started a long time ago. So it's like in my programming now, I'm big on.
Gregory's like 50.
Yeah, well, I'm 48.
Close enough, my
I'm
friend.
big on getting into more flexibility and mobility work these days.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's why when you said body flow, and it's like, yeah, because you get to the point, you've taught everything now, and it's like, I need to learn how to chill out.
I bet you got the same response teaching body flow as what I got, because I would do, at one point, I taught 4 classes on a Thursday morning.
Oh gosh.
I would teach a HIIT boot camp. I would teach CX Works right after. Then I would teach body flow. Then I would teach cycle. Back to back to back to back. And the participants that would watch me in something like CX Works go to body flow are like, you're like Jekyll and Hyde. What is happening? You're way up here, like crazy drill sergeant for boot camp. And then yoga, like you don't have like a spa I hate the spa voice.
You have the voice.
Oh God, the voice. Don't do the spa voice.
The yoga voice.
Hello,
Flow,
welcome to
breathe.
Body Flow. Like just talk, just be yourself for sure. But I would kick it, you know, way down because it doesn't take that same intensity. And I fully believe that your coaching voice should match what you're trying to get your participants to do. And if I was like, come on, Warrior 3, like that doesn't.
You can push it a little further.
So let me throw a question over to you.
Yeah, okay, here
Do
we
you
go.
feel like an instructor has to do the workout or should be doing the workout?
I'm a big fan of 50-50, maybe 60-40.
I agree.
To me, if you don't stop to look at your people and make sure that your coaching is landing, you're missing the mark. A. B, and I say this to all of the people all the coaches that I coach, this is not your workout. It is not your workout. This becomes your baseline. If you are teaching, if Brett is teaching a cycle class every week at the same time, that is now his baseline. That is not his workout.
Mm-hmm.
His workout is what he does outside of the classroom. So if you are so self-involved in your own workout, what you are doing it the entire time, you're missing the 50 people who have eyeballs on you where their bodies are in your hands. So no, I think maximum, I'll even say 70-30. Maximum you're doing 70% of the class, especially in like a Les Mills.
Yeah, I agree.
I think there are spots in Les Mills where you can be looking out and, stop with a bar on your back for body pump.
Les Mills, when I went through Les Mills training, they're big on the coaching and the level 1, the level 2, level 3.
But they also don't want you to stop.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But but you're also trained to watch the room and watch the participants.
Yeah.
Like when I took a HIT certification, when we all had to break out and do our little demos, she watched each one of us, and it was only the last instructor who went through and did the workout with us. And she pointed out, the first thing she said is, okay, so when you started the workout, were you watching this person over here who was completely doing it wrong or confused or had the wrong form and everything else?
Yeah.
So her biggest thing was, it's fine for you to do the workout, but you have to make sure your participants are set up first.
Yeah.
Because you never, matter of fact, my very first HIT class, my group X coordinator, she was like, it was fine for you to do the workout, but did you take a look around the room first? Right. She was like, you had people who were confused, some that wasn't doing it right, they were looking around, and it's like, you may have to still take care of the room first before you get into your workout.
Yeah. I try to tell any coaches that I coach, if you have to do the workout in order for your participants to follow you, you need to take a step back and work on your coaching.
No, let me follow up with a question.
Yeah.
Because, there is still a fair amount of movement, regardless of whether or not you're coaching, teaching, presenting, whatever.
Yeah.
You taught 4 classes back to back.
Yeah.
We would say that 4 hours of exercise is probably way too much.
Like I would never tell one of my clients, hey, you know what you should do today? 4 classes back to back. That would be good for your health.
Now, as an instructor though, and this is kind of where I don't love where the industry kind of goes. At one point, I had a tenured instructor, and we had 130-ish classes out of 4 studios almost every single week.
Yeah.
She taught no less than about 19 classes.
Yeah, I think in my prime I taught 24 a week.
Now, are we not going to say and point that out that that's kind of unhealthy?
Yeah.
Yeah, very. And from a longevity standpoint, that's a lot of wear and tear.
Tons.
On a lot of different parts of the body where, I almost had an aha moment about 4 years in thinking of my schedule. And my schedule at that point, over 4 different studios, maxed out, people all kind of set in their ways. I really kind of got to this point where I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, I'm asking you to cycle on a Tuesday, on a Wednesday, and then do body pump on a Thursday with yoga and core training as well. Is that really healthy for your knees long term? And probably not. No. And that's kind of, I almost got to this point where, at Crunch, where I was thinking to myself, like, I don't want to schedule people on back-to-back days, but then the schedule becomes what the schedule is, and it's just like, please just don't go hurt yourself, and then all of a sudden you're done for 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden I've got to flex on things.
Right, and that's a big reality in the industry that's not really talked about. You have people who get their certification and they're like, I'm just going to teach 1 class. Yeah. And then they dip their toes in the cult of what is group fitness. Yeah. And then they go way over here to Onaland, 24 classes in a week. Yeah. And good luck finding half of those to get taken over, or God forbid, I'm sick.
And then we have to find subs for the classes.
Yeah, so I fully agree. There's a fine line between enough and too much. Yeah. One of the things that Gregory and I have talked about is not teaching a class that you absolutely love to take. Because when you do, and you sort of alluded to it before, I'm not a normal participant. Yeah. Like, we can't help but
pick and choose
have
things.
our coach brain on when we're taking a class. So if you want something, like for me, body combat, I never want to teach body combat, because when I go, I don't want to think about what the person on stage is supposed to be doing when I know what it is.
Yeah.
I just want to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's definitely a fine line for sure.
Yeah, and I do think, like I said, I mean, you could definitely go overboard. And I think early on, I think sometimes as a manager, we're thinking about how big we want our teams to be.
Yeah.
And sometimes we're getting maybe advice from more senior folks like, oh, you need a big team, You don't really need that big of a team. If you've got a lot of really good individuals that are all multitask, you don't need, a ton of people on your staff because essentially you can essentially cover all your bases in one. Mm-hmm. I think sometimes like we as maybe more senior managers, are looking to just have like the biggest team available, and it's not the best way to do things.
Yeah.
So if you're a manager out there, like trust your people, and essentially you may not need more than what is actually being described to you. You'll have a general sense of what actually needs to happen based on what you're seeing.
Yeah. What's been the most rewarding job you've had in the industry?
The most rewarding job that I've had in the industry was probably a trainer at, like I said, Burn Boot Camp.
Okay.
One of the biggest things that I was ever a part of, and I guess I should give myself more credit for it, but I'm not. And for me, I just want to stay humble in it. I had a client in Richmond that lost 106 pounds.
That's amazing.
And
that's my 10-year-old.
Yeah, that's a person. And I think like we gave rules, we gave restrictions, and it was a lot of encouragement, but it was a lot of community. Mm-hmm. And even though I want to take a huge amount of credit maybe for helping create that community or helping instill like that discipline, like, hey, like I don't want you to have this, I don't want you to do this, I want you to show up every single day. Yeah, we created that special moment, and that was probably, like I said, one of the best things that I've ever been a part of. But I don't like to hold too much credit in that because I was just a part of it.
Yeah.
I wasn't the one that was putting in the work. I wasn't the one that was showing up every single day.
Right.
I wasn't the one that was making habit changes, lifestyle changes, behavior changes.
Yep.
So while I can take credit for that, it's unfair for me too.
Yeah. Well, you got him there. You got him coming back.
I was an orchestrator.
You were an orchestrator. You're a conductor.
Yeah.
What's the toughest job you've ever had in the industry?
Toughest job that I ever had in the industry, I think, was essentially coming out of COVID, right? The toughest job
I would agree with
that I think anyone would have is
as a group fit manager coming out of COVID.
You have a clientele base, and they're looking to you, and the world is strange, and the world is crazy, and they're looking for stability, and they're looking for guidance.
Yeah.
And you're some person behind a computer screen saying, hey, I want you to try push-ups on your knees with a towel, right? And it's, like I said, we had pre-sales for our Boot Camp Hilltop location, and we had 1,400 people signed up on a 30-day free voucher.
Yeah.
We were maybe going to see maybe half of that, maybe 3/4 of that.
Yeah.
In a perfect world, we would have signed up maybe about 30% of that.
Okay.
We signed up less than 200 people out of that 1,400.
Wow.
And we did all of that by providing essentially free workouts online, a sense of community, a Facebook page, for 2.5 to 3 months. That was the hardest thing that I've ever had to do, is keep people interested in positively changing their lives while everything around them was going to shit.
And they were all becoming alcoholics.
Yeah.
Because that's what COVID did.
Yeah. COVID did.
What's your absolute favorite thing to coach, and why?
My absolute favorite thing to coach is actually more of the unpopular classes, because I feel like
what are the unpopular?
Well, so like I feel like especially like at Crunch, like there are specific classes like TRX, like all athlete has changed now.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, they call it something.
It's
else.
banded conditioning, upper body classes, lower body classes. These are kind of more of a specialty type classes. I love teaching those classes because essentially no one else teaches those classes, and it allows you to get creative. And it allows you to try different things with smaller groups of people that may not be best for large groups.
Yeah.
It also allows you to instill a little bit of personal training into more of a group fitness type of atmosphere.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, now what you think about that, that's how I treated the TRX class.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't popular, but I made it fun and creative.
Yeah.
I started attracting more of a group, and everything you just said, I kind of made it more personable. Yeah, in that little 30-minute window. Then I became a fan of teaching TRX.
Yeah.
I think sometimes when you have
TRX is hard, man.
TRX is hard. I think sometimes the formats can be what the formats are, and I think you can teach real cookie cutter versions of things like TRX. But I think once you have smaller groups, like you can try some more challenging things with them because you're able to do it in a more personable manner.
Yep.
You're able to essentially experiment. Just to kind of figure out, like, hey, is this something that's kind of cool? Oh my God, you did that. That's amazing. That's really, like I said, that's really sometimes like from a creativity, like stoke your creative fires type of thing.
Yeah.
I love doing that.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
Yeah. All right, last question.
Yeah.
What's one piece of advice you would give to any aspiring fitness professionals that are trying to break into this industry?
Yeah, so I think if I was going to go with like one piece of advice, again, from a context standpoint, it's all about community. Are you more of a community that shows up every single week and is just happy to be there, or are you a community that is here to see results? I say this because I'm looking at it from a place of like CrossFit, something like a Burn Bootcamp, Orange Theory, something to like a cycle studio, something like a big box gym, right?
Sure.
For us,
boutique versus not.
Versus not, or maybe like if we're just thinking about like freestyle versus like pre-choreographed, right?
Yeah, sure.
There are so many different fitness classes out there, so many different fitness experiences out there, and we all like to think like our way is best. We all like to think like, hey, like this is the most fun way to enjoy fitness. Really, like you just have to find whatever it is that you're passionate about, show up, be present, and put energy forth. I am a big component of having energy, expressing energy, living life with energy. And if you don't show that you are passionate about something, if you don't have the energy to make an impact, if you don't have the courage to leave an impression upon others, then I don't think the industry necessarily is right for you. And I think sometimes, we sometimes like to think like this is something that I want to do, this is something that I like to do, hey, this might be a good fit. I think sometimes if you approach it from that way, that can be a really good place. But I think if you are someone that is dead set about putting in work that you're not going to be paid for, just to create a feeling upon people that they will forget in 7 days until they take your class again, like I think this
you work without getting paid in this industry?
Yeah, we got to put in the work. But like I said, like if you don't have that energy to make that difference, then you're going to struggle in this industry. This is not something that I think is also not a full-time thing for a lot of people. I think this is a part-time thing for a lot of people. I think personal trainers that want to become better in the field, better in the industry, would do great to do group fitness.
Oh my God, if you're a personal trainer,
I do
group fitness. You literally have the ears of 50 people who now trust you. That can be potential clients of yours. It is so wild to me when personal trainers are disinterested in group fit for whatever reason. It's like they think it's beneath them almost. Yeah. And guys, we're all personal trainers as well. So, yes, and yes to that.
Be present, have energy, and show up. I think no matter, like I said, where you're going or what it is that you want to do, if you have energy, if you have presence, you are going to find that you are going where you need to get a lot quicker than by avoiding everything and just hoping and praying that it was going to happen.
Yeah, for sure. So good having you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Can the people find you anywhere? Are you on social media?
I'm not on social media. So I
reached out. I was like, hey, are you on Spotify? I want to follow you because I wanted to steal your applause song from class.
I could probably give that to you. I just don't have anything necessarily organized on Spotify.
Hilarious.
I will say this, I got off social media because I was kind of going through some things in school, not having, necessarily the right mindset was kind of in holding me back.
Yeah.
As someone that used to run several different accounts on Instagram, including my own,
It's exhausting.
on Facebook, doing marketing ads, doing updated posts almost daily,
Yeah.
like that's the stuff like you also don't get paid for, right? It's social media.
Yeah.
So it just
And
like
it's
I
a
got
full-time job.
I got burnt out by social media.
Yeah.
So like I just got off social media altogether, and I'm just
Happily living your life.
I study, I'm in school, I work out, and I do my thing.
I love it.
I appreciate it though.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thank you guys.
You said nothing. You said a little bit.
I said a little bit.
All right, close this up.
All right.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
He's gonna do
Well,
his.
no, I gotta know
he's-
because
Okay.
I'm
He's
gonna
got a whole
I'm
thing.
gonna piggyback on what he said
Here
about
we go.
energy. Energy is contagious. Surround yourself with positivity. Bring the fire and watch how it spreads.
That's why he hangs out with me.
I have all
You're
the energy
welcome.
in the world. I'm Gregory. Our guest today, Brett, and you know who that is over there.
Sup? Go change some lives, y'all. Love you.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, hey, we got balloons.